Okay, I'm in. All right, guys, here we are. Leslie, you joining us as well?
Can you hear me?
There we are. Hey, Leslie, how you doing?
Good.
We are live. Awesome. We'll let a few other people join, and then we will go ahead and get started. I think this is this being recorded as well, Leslie?
Yeah.
It's live, so either way, perfect. Well, this is one of our first live streams we've done.
I know. We're also streaming live on YouTube.
I'm excited to do this. It's gonna be fun. We'll be. This is your first time to tune in. We'll be doing this a lot more. That way you can see kind of more the raw, authentic ways that we're figuring things out as STR investors to help you guys find these profitable deals and maximize revenue. So we'll let a few more people pop in here, and then we will get started with our skills lab training. I'm going to pull up my screen in the meantime. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go and share my screen, Leslie, and then we will get started here. Share screen. Okay, can you all see this? Or Leslie, give me a thumbs up if you got it. You got it? Awesome. All right. Hey, well, welcome to this week's version of the Skills Lab training with strIQ. I'm your host, Matt Sanderson, the founder and CEO of strIQ. I'm here with Leslie, who is our customer success lead here. And we've got a few others that are watching, and hopefully a lot of you guys are watching live. So we're going to be going over the Skills Lab training. And so when we're thinking about finding profitable properties, I'm pulling up our strIQ 2.0 platform here for y'all to check out. Now, when you're thinking about finding a profitable property, there's a 5-step framework that I like to really think about when doing that. And it all starts with why, because when you're looking at all these properties and you're thinking, hey, I want to go get into short-term rentals, I want to go buy one of these things. If you just jump into this and you start poking around and you start looking at for properties to buy, you may totally miss the mark if you don't first define why you're doing it in the first place. So there's a 5-step framework. I'll kind of tell you about each of these. And then each week we're going to be diving into each one of these in more detail. So again, the whole point of this is finding your next profitable short-term rental. There's a 5-step methodology that I like to use. Again, starting with your why. And then from there, you get into defining your buy box. And then once you define your buy box, you want to validate with the comps. Then you want to run your full pro forma, which is step 4. And then step 5 is to execute with confidence with these strategic providers that you have. So going back to step 1 of all this, I've talked to many of y'all out there. When you're buying a profitable short-term rental, there's usually 4 reasons that you're buying. It's either, hey, you want to get out of the 9-to-5 grind, you want to replace your income, you want to supplement your income with more, and that way you have assets providing cash flow for you, or you want to just have amazing memories with family and friends, to buy one of these properties on a beach or a lake. And some of y'all just want to get out of the stock market and diversify and put your money in these different places. And I can't remember if I mentioned tax write-offs or not, but one of the biggest reasons is tax write-offs. Some of y'all are high income earners and you've heard about the short-term rental loophole and you're like, you know what? I just want to get these massive tax write-offs. So that is step 1. You've got to define that. And there's usually 2 avatars that I notice the most when I'm talking to these people, and Leslie, let them know if you hear of a third out there. But it's usually the aspiring entrepreneur that maybe has some pretty good cash, but it's like, man, I'm just tired of going to work and being on the road, 4 hours a day going to the office. I want to supplement my income and get out of this 9 to 5. So they're really income focused. Whereas I have some other people that are like high income earners, like dentists and doctors, and these people that are making a lot of money, and they're very, very good at their trade, but they're super busy. And they've got to be hyper focused on that, and they can't be really distracted elsewhere, but they don't want to pay a bunch in taxes. And so for the dentist and the doctor, it typically is, hey, find a property that just reduces my tax bill as much as possible and have this, wealth building asset that at least is going to pay for itself. And most of them are like, you know what? I kind of want this on 30A or this awesome lake or this, cool Breckenridge, mountain property so that they can go spend time with family. And hey, you know what? If it cash flows, great, but it doesn't necessarily have to, as long as it can at least break even or cash flow some. So that's kind of that core avatar. I actually just talked to a guy the other day that is using strIQ to find a property up in Virginia. If there's any Virginia people out there, he's found some really cool properties up there that he's looking at that are like $1 to $2 million. And again, he's going to save hundreds of $1,000s in taxes just by buying one of these things. And then again, if we go back to the other aspiring entrepreneur, which was me when I first started, I just wanted to get, supplement my income and get to these levels of financial freedom so that I had more time to spend with family and friends. So that's step one. If you miss that, you've totally missed the mark, because you're just going to be looking around. You're not going to know what you're really searching for. And you've got to define that. So for me personally, I want at least, $2,000 or more in net cash flow when I find a property. And then I want big tax write-offs, because I want to shelter my income and I want to get a refund from the government, or I want to protect myself from having to give $25,000, $50,000, $75,000 to the government so that I can keep more of what I actually make. And then I want to build wealth with this asset. And then finally, I want to go create memories with family, which is more of a nice to have, but it's not essential. And so if I can accomplish all four of those in that order, then I'm happy. So that's step one. And then what we're going to do next week, we're just keeping these short for now. Next week, now that we've defined the buy or why, next week we're going to come into, okay, now we're going to craft the buy box based on that. And this is where strIQ really comes in to help really understand, based on your needs and your wants and desires, how can we actually pull together the MLS properties, all the revenue data, all the underwriting to instantly reveal the best properties in that entire market for you guys. So little teaser for next week, but that is what we're going to be talking about. And then each week following, we're going to finally get to the end where we find a property together, and then we're able to execute with confidence based on your specific buy box. So thank you guys for joining today. Again, we're keeping these kind of short and fun for now. And that way y'all can get back to work. And then next week we will see y'all there.